New Year's Eve, everybody. Can't believe we're in the last day of 2025. So, I'm going to do my picks today for the college football playoff quarterfinal games and all of the NFL games for the last weekend of the regular season. Plus, I'm going to give you, since we're ending 2025, I'm going to give you what I believe was the best sports moment, at least for me, for 2025. So we're going to get on into all that here in the New Year's Eve edition of the Total Sports Ozone. Big O with the big mouth coming at you on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2025. And I want to wish everybody a happy, prosperous, and safe 2026. And I can't believe it's coming. We got half a day left in 2025. And the bowl games, and just the best part of the new year, as we all know, football. The bowl games, whether your team is in the playoff or not, if your team is going to a bowl game, you're going to watch that bowl game. It's tradition. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that's what we do. New Year's Eve, we go out, see the ball drop, wish Happy New Year to everybody, and then the next day you recover by watching football all day, the bowl games. And that's what we would have starting tonight, or today actually, because we got bowl games going on as we speak. And tomorrow, we have 3 college football playoff quarterfinal games tomorrow, when we have 1 tonight. So it's going to be and then we got after all that, we got the last weekend of the NFL 2025 season. And there's a couple of games that still mean a lot. Like I said in my previous podcast, I believe Monday, there are 2 games where it's win or go home. It's literally win or go home. We'll get into that as I make my picks. Since I will not be doing a podcast tomorrow or Friday, this will be my last one for the week and for 2025. So I will make my picks starting right now. Let's get into my picks. I'm going to pick the 4 college football playoff quarterfinal games, starting with tonight's game in the Cotton Bowl in Arlington, Texas, pitting number 10 seed Miami of Florida against the number 2 seed Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State, again, I pick against the spread. I will not tell you what sportsbook I'm using for my pick, for my line and my over-unders, but I will pick against the spread as of right now. So currently, Ohio State is favored in this game by 9.5 with an over-under of 40.5. Now, I think the spread is a little bit too big. 9.5 in a college football playoff quarterfinal game. It's a little large for me. Maybe Vegas knows something I don't. I mean, we're talking about a Buckeyes team that hasn't played in 3 weeks. And the last game they played, they lost. Big Ten championship game. Now, it was an uncharacteristic loss because they only scored 10 points. Granted, the Indiana defense was pretty damn good. Probably second or third best, one of the top 5 defenses in all of college football. Granted. But the play calling in that game left a lot to be desired. Now, it's been said that, and he even said it himself, Coach Ryan Day, that he will be calling the plays tonight against Miami on offense. What difference will that make? We don't know. Now, you will look at the matchups in this. Miami has a tough front seven. Kept Texas A&M on the roll out of the end zone. Kept them out of the end zone. You say what you want to say about the elements, the weather, whatever. The defense harassed Reed, forced them into bad decisions, and came up with the game-winning interception in the end zone to seal that win. I don't think Miami has played an offense with weapons that Ohio State has. I haven't. I don't think they have. I think the closest they've come to that maybe Notre Dame, and they beat Notre Dame. Yes, they beat straight up. But this is Ohio State. This team has weapons. You do not underestimate the weapons that they have. They have arguably the best wide receiving duo in the country. Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Carnell Tate is definitely going first round in next year's draft. Jeremiah Smith will probably come out the year after next. He's definitely going first round. Unless he falls off the bat. He's going first round. So I said in my preview of this game that all Ohio State has to do, key to them, is to keep Julian Sayin upright. And it may not be easy, considering that defense that Miami has. And Julian Sayin ain't the most mobile quarterback. He can run a little bit, but he ain't known to be a scrambler. So that would be the key to Ohio State. That offensive line has got to give Julian Sayin time to throw. On the other side, Carson Beck, he's experienced. You know, he's won a national title with Georgia. He's experienced, but he is prone to making mistakes. I mean, it's not like Miami lit up Texas A&M in that game. They only scored 10 points. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to be enough against the Ohio State defense. We're talking about the best defense, points-wise, in the country. Only giving up 8 points a game. For Miami to win, they're going to have to score. The 10 points ain't going to get it. 13 points ain't going to get it. They got to get, when they get the opportunity to put it in, they better do it. And Ohio State has the best red zone defense in all of college football. They've only given up 6 touchdowns in the red zone in 13 games. 6! They've only given up 10 touchdowns all year. So as I said previously, you score a touchdown against the Ohio State defense, you might want to take that ball, write down the time and date that you did it, put it in glass, and put it in a glass case, and put it on your shelf. Because it don't happen too often, at least not in 2025. So, but that spread worries me. 9.5. It's not like Miami is Rudy Poo U. Miami's a good team. They're a very good team. Good defense. They can run the ball a little bit. Carson Beck, he's experienced. He's not new to this playoff thing. He's experienced. But I think with Ohio State just has a little bit more talent, and they still have players who were on last year's national title team. So they're not new to this either. So the pick for this game is, I believe Ohio State will win, but I think Miami will cover. I think this is going to be a close game. This is going to come down to the trenches, and this may come down to who has the ball last. I believe this will come down to who has the ball last. So I'm going to pick Miami to cover the 9.5 point spread, but Ohio State will win this game outright. So that's my pick. Ohio State to win. I believe Miami will cover the 9.5. I don't think they'll lose by that much. And I believe it'll be a very, very, very entertaining, very close game. Over under 40.5. You got two teams with good defenses, very good defenses. So I'm going to go under. I'm going to take the under on the 40.5. So that's my pick for the Cotton Bowl tonight. Miami to cover, Ohio State to win, and the under on the over under 40.5. Next, tomorrow, first game of the first of the 3 straight college football playoff games will be in the Orange Bowl. Oh yeah, tonight's game 7:30 kickoff Eastern. Next game tomorrow, Orange Bowl. We got number 5 Oregon going against number 4 Texas Tech. Excuse me. Dante Moore needs to play like Dante Moore. Not the Dante Moore that he played against Indiana where he threw a couple of interceptions. That's not going to get it. He needs to play like he played against Penn State, like he played last week against James Madison. Excuse me. That's the Dante Moore that needs to play if Oregon wants to win this game. He has to be decisive with the ball. Excuse me. He has to be decisive with the ball. He needs to know. He needs to be mindful of Texas Tech's front 4. They can get out their Texas Tech defense is very opportunistic. Excuse me. They can get after the QB. Ask BYU. And they make when they get turnovers, they turn them turnovers into points. So Oregon needs to take care of the ball at all costs in this game. They cannot afford to turn the ball over against that Texas Tech defense. On offense, Texas Tech. I believe Oregon is vulnerable to a team that has running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's how Indiana beat them. With turnovers and with their wide receivers winning, but it was the running back out of the backfield that gave Oregon problems when they lost to Indiana. So my feeling on this game is if Texas Tech can get their running back going out of the backfield, get him some screens, some runs, passes out in the flat, and Oregon will have problems with that. Texas Tech, that will have Texas Tech control the offense, control the clock, and like again, Texas Tech's defense very opportunistic. They get turnovers, they turn them into points. So Oregon needs to take care of the ball. I believe Oregon is faster on the average speed as far as team speed, but do not underestimate Texas Tech on defense. Like I said, very opportunistic. And if they get turnovers, it could be a very long day for Oregon. Because once Texas Tech gets into the lead, they're just going to tee off on Dante Moore. If they get a 2-score lead against Oregon, they're going to tee off on Dante Moore, and that could lead to more turnovers. Turnovers are going to be the key. The team that does not turn the ball over the most will win the game. Now, Oregon is favored by 2.5 with over under of 51.5. I like Texas Tech to win this game. Give me the 2.5. I believe Texas Tech is on a mission. I believe they're out to prove that their number 4 seeding wasn't a fluke. Them beating BYU and everybody saying, "Oh, BYU ain't all that." Well, they're going to be out on a mission. Now, again, with all these teams, the top 4 seeds haven't played in a while. Remember that. It's been like, what, 3 weeks since they played. So rust could be a factor. But I don't believe so. We all know last year the top 4 seeds that had buys, they all lost their first game. Well, I think they're going to all look at that. All these top 4 seeds, they're going to look at that. And I'm pretty sure their coaching staff has made kind of adjustments to that since haven't played in about 3 weeks. It's early December, and keep them fresh enough to be able to so the layoff won't be much of a factor. So I like Texas Tech in this one. In the Orange Bowl against Oregon, I like Texas Tech plus the 2.5, and I'm gonna go over on the 51.5. These two teams can put up points, and I think it's going to be a nice little high-scoring affair down there in Florida, and it should be an entertaining game. Two teams that are really evenly matched, if you look at them. But Dante Moore, this is his showcase. If Dante Moore, if he wants the scouts, the NFL scouts, and everybody to look at him a little bit more, with a little bit more, look at this cat. He has to show out. Dante Moore, this is his showcase. If he can light it up against the Texas Tech defense, the NFL scouts will be looking at him with a little bit more of an eye, like, okay, we see you. So, Dante Moore, Oregon, it's time to showcase. I know you played James Madison, so you had a warm-up game. So you had a warm-up game. Now it's time to showcase. However, I still believe Texas Tech will win this game. Give me Texas Tech plus the 2.5. Give me the over on the over-under of 51.5. That's the Orange Bowl. That is slated for 12 noon tomorrow, Eastern Time. Next, we have the Rose Bowl, what they call the granddaddy of them all, as the late, great Keith Jackson would call it, the granddaddy of them all. And that pits number 9, Alabama, against the number 1 seed in the country, the Indiana Hoosiers. Yes, the Indiana Hoosiers. You heard me right. Yes, Indiana, number 1 team in the country. Indiana is favored by 7.5 with an over-under of 47.5. Like I said yesterday in my preview, if you saw yesterday's podcast, I said for the key to Alabama, they got to find a way to run the ball. They haven't ran the ball well all year. I know. But if they want to win, if they want to have any chance to win, they got to try to keep Indiana's offense off the field as much as possible. And to do that, they have to run the ball. I know they don't. Hopefully they gotten all their running backs back and they're healthy and they're ready to go. But for the Alabama Crimson Tide to have any shot of picking off Indiana in the Rose Bowl in this game, they got to do some semblance of running the ball. I'm not saying they got to run for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Just do enough to move the chains. To keep the chains moving, to get those first downs on 3rd and short. Keep that Indiana offense and Fernando Mendoza on the sideline as much as possible. Time of possession. They have to do that if they want to have a chance to win the game. They cannot give Indiana all that time on possession. They cannot give them any more extra possessions than they need. This is an Indiana team. Yes, I know a lot of people, he ain't playing that. This is an Indiana team that's put up 2 60-point games. One of them against a ranked team. Yes, they did put up 63 points against a ranked Illinois squad, who at the time I think was ranked top 10. So this team can put up points in bunches. And they do it fast. So if like I said, Alabama needs to keep that offense off the field as much as possible. And to do that, you got to run the ball. That's the whole key. Yes, Tyler Simpson needs to have a good game. He cannot he cannot turn the ball over. He has good receivers, no doubt. He needs to have, and this is another one of those quarterbacks that this game will be a showcase game, showing the NFL scouts and whatnot. Does he have the goods to be a top, I don't know, top 1, 2, or 3 round pick? First, second, or third round pick. This is his game to do that. Can't start off slow like he did against Oklahoma. Not against this team. Now, conventional wisdom will tell you, oh, Indiana hasn't been here in decades. Who cares about all that? This Indiana team is for real. This Indiana team is legit. And if you don't know, they're going to show you tomorrow. They're going to show you tomorrow how legit they are. For this game, I like Indiana. I like Indiana, and I like Indiana minus the 7.5. I believe Indiana will win this game by at least 2 scores. Alabama can't run the ball. And that's going to hurt them. That's going to hurt them. And this game is going to cost them their inability to run the ball. Indiana, which means that makes Alabama a one-dimensional team, and Indiana's going to pin their ears back and get after Kyle Simpson. And for that reason, I got to pick Indiana in this game minus the 7.5. Unless Alabama gets some horses on the giddy up on the ground, I don't see them winning this one. So I'll take Indiana in the Rose Bowl. I'll take Indiana minus 7.5, and I'm gonna go under on the over 47.5. I don't believe it's gonna be a very big time high scoring affair, especially since Alabama can't run the ball. But Indiana's gonna put up at least 30 points against this vaulted Alabama defense. I believe Indiana's gonna put up at least 30 points. At least. So, Rose Bowl, Indiana. Give me Indiana minus the 7.5. And I'll go under on the over 47.5. That game is tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern. The last and final college football playoff quarterfinal game will be tomorrow night in New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss, the 6th seed, goes against the 3 seed, Georgia. This game, Georgia is favored by 6.5 with over under 55.5. I said it yesterday. I said it before. I said it yesterday. I say it again. It is awfully hard in college football to beat the same team twice in 1 year. Awfully hard. Almost impossible. Alabama knows that. Oklahoma knows that. Will Georgia know that? And they're going against Ole Miss team. Yes, I know they don't have Lane Kiffin. Who cares? Who cares about that? They still have the same team, same players that was on that field in Athens that had Georgia Bulldogs on the ropes for 3.5 quarters. For most of 3.5 quarters, they had the Georgia Bulldogs on the ropes till they let them off. Has Ole Miss learned from the mistakes that cost them their only loss of the season? Have they learned from those mistakes? We're going to find out in this game. Now, Georgia has been on a roll late. As of the last 4 or 5 weeks of the regular season, they've looked pretty good, damn good. I ain't going to front. They slowed down to a crawl a little bit against Georgia Tech, but then they revved it back up by beating the snot out of Alabama in the SEC championship game. So they've been on a little bit of a roll. Let's see if that role the offense has been perking up, has been pointing up. Gunnar Stockton, he's been balling his butt off last 3-4 games of the last 3 games of the regular season and the SEC championship game. He's been looking legit. And Georgia defense, it's not, like I said, it's not the overwhelming defense it was of Georgia's of the last like 2 or 3 years ago, but it's still really good defense. I mean, but you can't score on it. Ole Miss put up 30. What was it? They scored what, 38, 35 points against this defense back in Athens. So it's not like they can't be scored upon. They can. The problem is Ole Miss needs to learn from the mistakes that cost them that game. In other words, in the red zone, do not settle for field goals and take care of the ball in the red zone. Take care of the ball in the red zone. Don't be giving that ball up. Has Ole Miss learned from their mistakes? Again, hard to beat same team twice in the same year in college football. We'll see if Georgia is able to do that. I like Georgia in this game. So I like Georgia simply because, like I said, they've been on the roll lately. And the way they beat Alabama, if they play like that, they're going to be a tough out. They're going to be probably the toughest out in the college football playoff if they play like they beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. So give me the Georgia Bulldogs minus the 6.5, and I'll go under on the over-under 55.5. So Georgia minus 6.5, under on the 55.5 over-under. That game is tomorrow night, 8 Eastern. So those are my picks for the 4 college football playoff quarterfinal games. I like, again, recapping, I like Ohio State to win, Miami to cover tonight in the Cotton Bowl. I like Texas Tech to win outright in the Orange Bowl. I like Indiana to win outright in the Rose Bowl. And give me Georgia to win outright in the Sugar Bowl. What do you think? Who do you like? Let me know. Drop a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing, like what I'm saying, or if you even don't like it. Drop me a comment and let me know. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. Now, let's move on to the NFL. Last weekend of the regular season already. Man, where's the time go? We on the last weekend of the regular season. This is it. After this is the playoffs. And for 4 teams, the playoffs start now. We're going to get into that as we go into my picks. So let's get into them. Tomorrow, we got 2 Saturday games. We have 2 Saturday games. And all the other games will be on Sunday. No Monday nights. No Monday night games because this is the last weekend of the regular season. So regular season will wrap up Sunday night. So let's get into it. This is one of those big games that win or go home games right here. Carolina Panthers at Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay is favored by 3 with an over-under 43.5. These are 2 teams that are coming in and not playing their best. Let's just put it like that. They're not playing their best, especially Tampa Bay. I think they've lost, 2, 3 in a row? They lost to they lost to not too good teams. You know, they lost to Carolina. They lost Carolina, which is they were all right, but they lost to New Orleans at home. They lost to Atlanta at home. They lost to, and this past week they lost to Miami. They're fading away. And this is a team early in the season was 5-2, 6-2. They were 6-2, and everybody was lauding Baker Mayfield, maybe candidate for MVP or Offensive Player of the Year. And Emeka Ibuka was looking like Offensive Rookie of the Year and everything. And they've just faded away. All that's gone. Now they're just playing just to get into the playoffs. It's got. I know it's got a lot of Bucks fans shaking their head like, "What the hell happened?" That's a good question. Did they lose in their intensity on defense? I think they did. What happened to the offense? Or did they figure out Baker Mayfield? Have defenses figured him out? Maybe. We'll have to know. We'll have to find out. But but all that right now, none of that matters. What matters now is you got to win this game. Carolina, like I said, Bryce Young, Carolina has been scraping and scrounging and clawing for respectability past 3 years. This is your chance to get it. Oh, but there's more to this one. There's another team that factors into this game. Would you believe the Atlanta Falcons? Let me break it down. The scenarios are like this. Carolina wins the division if they either win this game against Tampa Bay or if the Atlanta Falcons lose their game. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to, for them to win the division and go on to the playoffs, they need to win this game and have the Falcons win their game. So somehow, Carolina controls their own destiny. But if they don't win this game, they gotta. Both these teams' destinies could lie on what happens to the Atlanta Falcons. Do you believe that? Crazy, ain't it? I was wondering myself, how the hell did the Atlanta Falcons factor into this game? That's how. Because of tiebreakers and divisional record. That's how. Again, Carolina wins the division if they win this game or if the Atlanta Falcons lose to the New Orleans Saints. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the division if they win this game and if the Atlanta Falcons win their game against the New Orleans Saints. So either way, if the Carolina wins, they don't have to scoreboard watch. If the Bucks win, they're going to be scoreboard watching tomorrow, or at least on Sunday. Weird, isn't it? But it's still a scenario where you got to win the game. If you lose the game, forget it. You're out. Now, like I said, both teams have not looked good last couple weeks. They have not. So this is going to be a battle of attrition to me. Who wants it more? And you put everything aside, what happened in the previous so many weeks, forget about it. It don't even matter now. What matters is you got to win this game. And for that reason only, I'm going to take the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to man up and find a way to win this game. Baker Mayfield, Godwin, Ibuka, they're going to find a way to win this game. It may not be pretty. It may be ugly as all get out. But I believe Tampa Bay will find a way to score just enough points to win this game. So give me the Bucks minus the 3. And I'm going to go under on the over-under 43.5. I don't think there's going to be a whole hell of a lot of scoring in this one. Because I think both teams are going to come out a little tight because of the circumstances involved. So and I wouldn't be surprised that a turnover happens early in the game that might sway momentum one way or another. But I like the Bucks minus the 3. I'll go under on the 43.5. That game is Saturday, 4:30 Eastern. The next game on Saturday is Saturday night. Another biggie that could determine the number 1 seed in the NFC. We got the Seahawks traveling to Santa Clara to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Seahawks are favored in this one by 1.5 with an over-under of 48.5. I believe the Seahawks are the only team that has not lost on the road. I believe the Seahawks are the only team in the National Football League that has yet to lose a road game. Will that end this weekend? This is a tough call. What are we going to get out of Sam Darnold? I mean, again, I said he's the key to the Seahawks everything. I mean, the Seahawks are in the playoffs, yeah, but regular season Sam Darnold, he's okay. But in the last 2 years, he's been really okay. Again, he's been on two teams in 2 consecutive years that have won 13 or more games. So he has to be doing something right? But in the playoffs, as you saw, I'm pretty sure a lot of you saw last year, the playoffs, he fizzled. He fizzled quick, too. Will he do that this year with the Seahawks? Well, only time will tell. 49ers are hot. Since Brock Purdy come back, they haven't lost. And despite all the injuries they've had on defense and what their main wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk, not even played the whole season, they still right there. Right there in the mix for the number 1 seed in the NFC. That's coaching. That's coaching and depth. That's coaching and depth. And for that reason, I like the 49ers. I believe the 49ers will find a way to win this game. I don't like their defense. I don't like the fact that they have a very weak pass rush. They only have 19 sacks on the season. So they don't get after the quarterback hardly at all. But with that offense, all the defense has to do is just make a play when you need it. Get the other team off the field when you need it. When you need it. And that should be enough. With that offense, that should be enough. So give me the 49ers in this game, plus the 1.5. Thank you for the 1.5. And I like the over on the over under 48.5. I think this is going to be a good old-fashioned shootout. Again, that game is 8 o'clock Saturday. Those are the 2 Saturday games. Now, let's move on to the Sunday games real quick. First one, New Orleans heading to the Dirty South, take on the Falcons. Again, this game will factor in somehow, some way. This game factors in who wins the NFC South, the Bucks or the Panthers. Again, the Panthers win. They have to have either the Panthers to win the NFC South. They have to either win against the Bucks or have the Falcons lose. The Bucks, they have to win and have the Falcons win, and they win the division, the Bucks. So somebody's fate, one of these 2 teams' fate might lay on what the Falcons do to the Saints. Now, in this game, Falcons are favored by 3 with an over under 44.5. These 2 teams have played better over the past 2 or 3 weeks. There's no doubt about it. Both these two teams, I think the New Orleans Saints may have found their quarterback. And shook. They might have found one. He has been playing really, really well over the past 3 games. And the Atlanta Falcons, they've been pulling off some spectacular wins. Pulled out one against Tampa Bay. They pulled out the game against Monday night against the Rams. They've been pulling out games. I mean, in my opinion, I thought they'd blow because Atlanta's penchant to blow leads and choke games away. That's what they've done this year. They've choked away 4 games where they've had the lead at the 2-minute warning. Actually, 5 games. They've choked away 5 games where they've had the lead at the 2-minute warning. So that's always been my thought process. That's what the Falcons do. They choke leads. Well, somehow they found a way to hang on and win the last 3 games. So they've been playing better. And again, Bijan Robinson. Remember the name. Bijan Robinson. He's going to be the factor. If he goes off, Saints ain't got a chance. Saints ain't got a chance. Give me the Falcons minus the 3. I think this will be a 1-score game, but it'll be like Falcons will win by like 4 or 5. But I like the Falcons. I said I wasn't gonna pick them again, but I'm gonna pick them this time. They, like I said, they've been playing better. So give me the Falcons minus the 3, and I go under on over under 44.5. That game's 1 o'clock Sunday. Next, the Battle of Ohio, and two teams that, let's face it, changes in head for both these teams. The Browns and the Bengals. This game's in Cincinnati. Bengals are favored by 7.5 with over under 44.5. I wouldn't be surprised if one or both these teams lose their head coaches on Monday. I would not be surprised. So this could be about a audition for which one of these two coaches next job. This could be that, because I truly believe one of these two, or if not both, of these head coaches will be out of a job come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime next week. One of these two coaches, and I'm leaning towards Kevin Stefanski, that will not be coaching that team after Monday. So this could be like basically what you would call an audition for these coaches to see if they get a job somewhere else. I don't like the matchup. I think both these teams. Well, the only intrigue for me in this game was will this is the last game of the season? Will Myles Garrett get that one sack he needs to break the single season sack record? I think he will. Cincinnati has no line. Cincinnati Bengals have no line. They don't have a line whatsoever. Neither one of these teams have a line. Their offensive line, both these teams' offensive lines stink. So I believe Myles Garrett. I believe not only Myles Garrett will get that one sack, I think he'll get 2, maybe 3. But he will break the sack record in this game. That's the only intrigue I see in this game. Other than that, I'll take the Bengals minus the 7.5. I don't think the Browns will score enough points to hang with the Bengals. So give me the Bengals minus the 7.5, and I'll go under on over under 44.5. I don't think the Browns will score a lot. If they just don't get shut out. That's all. Games at 1 o'clock. Next, we got the Cowboys ending their season in New York against the New York Giants. Cowboys favored by 3.5 with over under 51.5. Cowboys are already making changes on defense. They've already let Diggs go. What's his name? Trayvon Diggs. He's already gone. They've already cut him. So he's already gone. So before the end of the season, for the regular season finale, they've already making change, and they need to. And they need to. The defense is horrible. Was horrible all year. And they got to make changes. That defense needs to be reworked. So hopefully I think with the Cowboys, a lot of players on defense will probably be playing for their jobs. I think so. A lot of these players are going to be playing this game against the Giants for their jobs. This game has no meaning whatsoever for anybody, except maybe draft positioning. But for both these teams, a lot of these players are playing for their jobs next year. Remember, the Giants are going to be getting a new head coach, so you got to show and prove. If you're a Giants fan, if you're a Giants player, you got to show and prove to whoever might be the potential coach that you're worthy to stay on this team. For the Cowboys on defense, you better show and prove that you're worthy to be part of the newly revamped defense that's going to happen next year. Again, a lot of these players are playing for their jobs. In this game, it's all about job security. Give me the Cowboys though, minus the 3.5. I go over on the over under 51.5. Neither one of these teams' defenses are worth a damn, so you got to go over. Again, Cowboys minus 3.5. That's 1 o'clock Sunday. Next, the Green Bay Packers, who've already clinched the playoff spot, they're probably the 7th seed, playing at Minnesota against the Vikings. The Vikings are favored by 7, and they should. Jordan Love will not play in this game. Malik Willis will, and he shouldn't play. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers rest a lot of their players, rest a lot of their starters so they don't get anybody hurt because they're already without Michael Parsons and Jordan Love will not be playing in this game. So this is just like a rest game, I believe, for the Packers. They can't move up or down in the they cannot move up or down in the playoffs series. They're stuck at the seventh seed. Their only question is who they're gonna be playing in the first round. And they want to for the Packers it should be just try to get out of this game without getting anybody else hurt. Give me the Vikings minus the 7, over under 35.5. I'm gonna take the under on that one. Again, that game is 1 o'clock Sunday. Got the Colts heading to Houston to take on the Texans. Indianapolis Colts are underdog in this game by 10.5. Houston is still playing for the division. They're trying to win the division. They win and Jacksonville loses. Houston might still in the AFC South. So they got a lot to play for. Colts don't. And it's a shame. They started off really, really well, and then injuries just decimated this team. Especially Daniel Jones, the season-ending injury he had. And Phillip Rivers has already been benched, so he won't be playing. It's a shame what happened to Colts. It's really heartbreaking if you're a Colts fan. Such a promising season just went by the wayside, just like that. But that's the way it is sometime in the NFL. Got to keep on with the keeping on. I'm gonna take the Texans in this one minus the 10.5. Over under. I'm gonna take the over on the 39.5. Houston has a strong defense, and they're gonna shut the Colts down, especially with a chance to win this division. They're gonna shut the Colts down on this one. So give me the Texans minus the 10.5. I take the over on the over under 39.5. That game's at 1 o'clock. Then we got the Titans heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jaguars are favored by 12.5 with over under 47.5. Again, been saying it for the last couple of weeks. This is the quietest 12-4 team you'll ever see. I mean, nobody's talking about them. Nobody. At least not what I'm hearing. Yet they just keep doing what they're doing. And I think they like it like that. I think they play way over their heads when nobody's talking about them. That's what they've been doing all year. So why stop it now? Give me the Jaguars minus the 12.5. I think they're going to destroy the Titans. Cam Ward has been looking better, but this is the Jaguars. Jaguars is just too strong on both sides of the ball for the Titans to do it to make this a game. Give me the Jaguars minus the 12.5. I'm gonna go under on over under 47.5. I'll take the under on that. Thank you. Next game. Kansas City heading to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Chiefs are favored by 5.5. Over under 36.5. This is two teams that are just playing it out. This could be Travis Kelce's final game in the Chiefs uniform. Could be his final game of his career. I would think the Chiefs will want to send him out with a bang. If it is his final game, I think they would want to send him out with a bang. Let that man score 2 touchdowns. If you get close range on, throw that ball to Kelce. Let him get a couple of touchdowns. I'm pretty sure his woman gonna be there, Taylor Swift. I know she probably gonna be there. It's Vegas. I know she probably gonna be there. So let him go out with a bang. If this is his last game, let him go out with a bang. And I think he will. Give me the Chiefs minus the 5.5. And I'll take the over on the over under 36.5. Send Kelce out with a bang. That game's at 4:25 Eastern Sunday. Next, got the Detroit Lions heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. Bears are favored by 3 with over under 49.5. Chicago's still in the mix for the number 1 seed. All depends on what goes on. Or maybe we'll see. I know they're playing for seeding. They could be as high as first. They could be They could be the third seed. Who knows? But Chicago, they almost pulled that game out against the 49ers. We all saw it. Again, like I said, Caleb Williams was able to step into his throw on that last play. They probably would have pulled that game out. I can't sleep on the Bears, and neither should anybody else. The Bears are for real. They're here. They're here. They came a year early, but they're here. And you're going to have to deal with them. Caleb Williams and that defense, you're going to have to deal with them in this playoff. I like the Bears minus the 3 with an over-under. I'll take the under on the 49.5. They here. You got to deal with them. The monsters of the Midway, they here. Let's see if they can carry how far they can carry this. I believe they'll beat Detroit though. Give me the Bears minus the 3, and I'll take the over on the over and that under on 49.5. That game's at 4:25 Eastern Sunday. Next, we got the Chargers at the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are still playing to try to get that number 1 seed in the AFC. So this is a big game for them. Broncos are favored by 11.5 with over under 36.5. I believe the Chargers are going to be resting some players, and they should, because they can't move up or down where they at in the playoff seedings. They've already clinched the playoff spot, so they don't have to worry about that. But for the Broncos, they got everything to play for. Win this game, and they win this game. Hope the Patriots lose. They could be the number 1 seed. I don't like the spread though. I'm gonna take the Chargers to cover. Denver will win. I don't like the spread of 11.5. I like the Chargers to cover. I think they'll lose by 10. So give me the Chargers, and the Denver will win. Chargers will cover. I'll go over on the 36.5. That game's at 4:30 Eastern Sunday. Next, Miami Dolphins heading to New England to take on the Patriots. Again, Patriots win this game, they might knock out the number 1 seed in the AFC. Patriots are favored by 10.5 with an over under of 45.5. Miami is on a trial basis with Quinn Ewers. Ain't got no chance. They ain't got no. If Cincinnati blew them out, what is New England and Miami? We all know the Dolphins don't fare well in cold weather games. They don't. They just don't. That's why the spread's so big in this game. It should be bigger. You know, Miami is what 0-14 in games where the game time temperature is 40 or less, 40 degrees or less. So do you really expect them to go to New England and win this game even in the cold? Nope. Give me New England minus 10.5. And I'll take the under or over under 45.5. New England, they got two goals in this one. Win that game so they can lock up the number 1 seed and get that first round bye, and 2, get out of this game without anybody getting hurt. That's their goals. Let's see if they can accomplish them. 4:25. Next, Washington against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles favored by 3.5 over 39.5. The Eagles have locked the division. They're going to be the 4th seed. They can't do any more or any less than what they've done. I wouldn't be surprised if they rest a lot of their starters in this game. That's why the spread is so small. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to be resting a lot of starters in this game, and they should. Because they can beat the Commanders with their backups. Commanders are that badly beat up, especially on offense. Give me the Eagles minus the 3.5, and I'll take the under on the over under 39.5. Next, Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams. Rams are favored by 7.5 with over under 45.5. Rams cannot be the number 1 seed, but they can be as high as the 5th seed or as low as the 6th seed. So they got a little bit to play for in this game. And I think, judging after how they lost against the Falcons, they're going to be coming out breathing fire on this one. Matthew Stafford, enough. This is his last game to showcase himself to try to win the league MVP award. Right now, Drake May is the odds-on favorite. So this is Matthew Stafford's one last time in the regular season to try to show out and try to steal that MVP from Drake May. Will he do it? We're playing the Cardinals. He should, and he's at home. Give me the Rams minus the 7.5. I'll take the over on the over under 45.5. Stafford gonna show out. Watch, he gonna show out in this game. That game's at 4:30. Next, you got the Jets, the Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored by 7.5 with over under 38.5. Josh Allen and the Bills need this game just so they can fix some things on offense and get back in sync on offense, because against the Eagles they didn't look like they was in sync. It was like Josh Allen being Superman, and they got to see who one of these receivers need to step up. Who's going to step up come playoff time? Need to get Cook back going. Need to get everything lined up right on offense, and this is a good team to try to do that against. New York Jets, they're horrible on defense. So this is a good chance. This is a good game for the Buffalo Bills to get right on offense. I like the Bills to win it by 7.5. They're probably winning by way more than that. Over under 38.5. I'll take the over on that. And the last game of the regular season will be a big one. Baltimore Ravens heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Winner take all. Winner of this game is the AFC North champion, and they move into the playoffs. The loser, well, we'll see you next fall. Right now, the line has the Ravens favored by 3.5 with over under 41.5. Again, I can't pick the Steelers because I just don't know what I'm going to get out of them from one week to the next. And you saw how badly that the Steelers needed DK Metcalf against the Browns. Only 6 points. I truly believe if they had Metcalf, they probably would have won that game. And he's not playing in this game, serving the second of his 2-game suspension. And I don't know. Lamar Jackson, what would his status be? And if he does play, how will he look? And I believe Ravens will run Derrick Henry down the Steelers' rope. They're going to run him down the throat. Why not? It worked against Green Bay. Why not try it against the Steelers to try to steal the AFC North Division title? It worked before. Browns gave the Ravens a gift. Let's see if the Ravens unwrap that gift. I like the Ravens minus the 3.5. I'm going to go under on the over under 41.5. I think this is going to be a low scoring game. But it's going to be real fun to watch. And I hate both teams. I definitely hate the Steelers. I'm going to watch this one. That game's at 8:20 Sunday night, Eastern time. So, those are my picks for the final weekend of the NFL regular season for 2025. What do you think? Let me know. Drop a comment, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Now, to wrap up this last show, my last podcast of the season, I'm going to pose this question out to you guys. What was your best sports moment of 2025? As we wrap this year up, gotta look at put some remembrance on it, some nostalgia, a little bit, and go back into the time machine a little bit in this year, and think, what was your best sports moment of 2025? Was it one of your teams winning the whole thing, like the Thunder winning the NBA Finals, the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, the Dodgers winning their back-to-back World Series championship in a great, memorable Game 7? What was it? Me, I had a few. Ohio State winning the national title, that was great. But my biggest sports moment ties into that because the biggest sports moment for me, I was there to see it. It was in the Cotton Bowl early this year, January 2025, playing Texas, fourth quarter. Ohio State's up a touchdown, but Texas is in the red zone, fourth and goal, with just a little over 2 minutes left in regulation. Texas. If Texas scored, this game is tied, and who knows what could happen. Quinn Ewers drops back to pass. Jack Storer dips under the right tackle shoulder, comes in, bull rushes Quinn Ewers. Ball comes loose, and on one bounce, Jack Storer scoops it up and runs untouched, 83 yards for the clinching touchdown. Best sports moment of the year for me. Why? Because I was there. I saw that live. I was in the building, in the stadium, in Jerry World. I was up there in the cheap seats, but I was there. And we're talking about one, not just best sports moment for me of 2025. We're talking about one of the best all-time moments in Ohio State football history. And I was there to see it. So that, by far, best sports moment of the year for me. What about you? What was your best sports moment? Leave me a comment. Drop me a line. Let me know. And with that, I wish you all a very happy, safe, and healthy 2026. And I will see you all next year as we recap the last weekend of the NFL regular season and we'll recap the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. We're going to get all of that next year. Next Monday of next year. Right here in the Sports Ozone. Happy New Year.